still a lot of people rocking the ground and pound run game online, even at this point in the game. If you're like me and don't want to run the 3-4 odd like everyone else, there are a lot of great ways of defending the run in a 4-3 playbook. A couple months ago, I showed you guys how to defend the stretch out of 4-3 normal quarters, and that's still well and good. I use it all the time, and almost nobody knows what to do other than abandon the stretch entirely against it. But there are some guys running these stretch RPOs out of I-form tight end wing formation that actually give it a lot of issues. And that's where the 4-3 wide 9 comes into the place with a weird and glitchy blockshed that essentially shuts it down entirely in the backfield. To understand more of where I'm getting at here, let's recap the 4-3 normal run defense. So the 4-3 stretch defense is really simple. So you're coming out in cover 4 quarters or cover 4 palms at a 4-3 normal. And against formations like this, I form close, where the stretch is just a basic stretch. There's no RPO attached to it. This is going to be really good for you. So all you're going to do is just global blitz all your linebackers. So right on the D-pad, down on the right stick. And then you're going, again, right on the D-pad and up on the right stick to globally zone them all. And then from there, you can re-put those guys into flats if you are concerned about the pass, which, nobody's really passing out of here. But the reason why I do that is that it takes the force run assignment from the outside linebacker to the safeties up here. So if I go ahead and reset that play, you'll see that originally they're on the outside linebackers with the assignments, which takes, half a second. It's going to go up to the safeties here. Now, the reason why I do that is that that force assignment is very important in terms of defending the stretch. If it's coming from the outside linebacker, they kind of get washed out within all the blocks with the tight ends and the fullbacks and the tackles and all that. If it's coming from the third level, the safeties, it's much harder for the blockers to target them. So they generally always come in untouched unless, and we'll get into that later on, if it comes with an RPO, things get a little bit buggy. But what I would do, and maybe not so much anymore, but I would put an enforcer here and an enforcer here, and whichever way they decide to run the stretch, that guy's going to come in free, and I'm essentially just teeing off on them all game long. Though, what I've noticed and what I hear kind of around the community is that enforcers kind of been toned down a little bit, so you don't get a lot of fumbles, though it is still a great sure way of tackling the guy and, putting a little bit of fear in him. But, that's kind of up to you. But otherwise from that, if I just go ahead and run this and then I kind of just scrape a little with my user, I don't even have to do much, that safety is going to come down there completely free for, no gain at all. And, it works in a variety of different formations here. So here when we're in single back, weak flex, do the exact same thing, have my safeties in the run fit. Sometimes you'll see them flip it to the weak side. Over here, I don't even do anything. I have two guys completely free, ready to make a tackle. And then on the strong side, I showed you guys this little adjustment if we would just to back off the cornerback over there and we can blitz him, or we can even do a weird cross-man situation where we put him on the inside tight end. And then if they try to run stretch on that side, we're going to get two guys free. Again, a tackle for a loss. But if I try to do this exact same thing on a play like the Stretch Lookie RPO out of the I-form H-wing or the strong H-wing, things get a little bit different. So if I do the same adjustment and I even back this guy off, cross-man him over here, I'll just show you how it kind of works out here. So you see I have much more room to work. I'm not stuffed in the backfield as the user running back. And the reason why that happens, and this is kind of a goofy thing that I hope gets kind of taken out of the game, is because it is an RPO, the safety doesn't know it's an RPO. For him, he's reading stretch all the way, so he should fit his run. But because it's programmed that way, he kind of comes down and then comes back, and it's just a whole hesitation. Otherwise, if there's no RPO attached to it, he wouldn't have that hesitation, and he'd be 10 yards down ready to make a play in the backfield. So that's why we can't really run it here. If we blitz him, he kind of shoots the wrong gap. He doesn't have that nice angle as he would as a force assignment. So we really can't use this at all, no matter how many times I try to make it work. Now, if I call the exact same play, cover 4 quarters, but at a 4-3 wide 9, things get a little bit different here. So we can make sure to pick a playbook that has this. So not all 4-3 books have it. So right now I'm in San Francisco 49ers defensive playbook here. And what you'll notice here is on the defensive end, on the strong side, on the tight end wing side, he has this kind of funny artwork over here, but that's just really to signify that he is the force defender in the run game. So not the outside linebacker, because in this case he's actually kind of an interior box player. This is actually something the Niners run a lot in in real life, the run benefits aren't because of some weird glitchy blockshed here. It's, for some other logistical reasons. But for this case, we're going to use it because this guy he's able to split these tight ends really well. So right now, if I show you here, if I go ahead and run this, you see they just have a lot of trouble blocking him, and he's able to get a tackle for a loss. From my experience, it doesn't matter too much who's there, but I would still go get a physical freak like Khalil Mack if you can. I think maybe it helps a little bit more. I think if you have somebody really weak there, like maybe a Joey Bosa or something like that, I don't think he'll do quite as well, though. It's probably just I never really looked into it too much. But you also want someone with speed, so once he breaks that block, he's going to have a little bit of speed to make sure that the running back can't just simply run around him. So make sure of that. But what I want to say here is that this has to be cover 4. So you can't do cover 3, because if I go ahead and do that, you'll see the force defender is this, the safety that rolls down. And if I run this exact same thing, it's pretty easy for me to pick up a few yards. It can't be cover 2 either, because the force defender becomes the cornerback there. And again, it's very easy for me to pick up big chunks of yards. So yeah, it has to be cover 4 quarters. It can be press quarters also. That's in the playbook as well, but really it's the same thing. Actually, you're going to be running a show blitz to bring those safeties down to add that extra aggression to this, and then probably back off your corners just so you're not getting burnt over the top, even though nobody's really passing out of this stuff anyway. And then, like I was showing before, that end is just going to get that nice glitchy block shed, and you're going to be golden. And same exact thing as you would come across in the strong H-wing with the same stretch looky play. Exact same thing's going to happen. You're going to get that weird block shed, and again, you're going to be golden. One thing I would do, I think in this case it's even more important to show blitz here, because in some situations you'll get a really quick block shed from that guy, and the fullback right here is kind of able to pick it up from there. So what I would do is just make sure that you're showing blitz so that he'll be quicker to target the next level, so the cornerback or the safety or the linebacker there, rather than pick up the end that split his double team over there. And then from there, as a user defender, I'd really just be looking to clean things up. So if he tries to cut it inside, I'm going to actually user the halfback here, not the linebacker. So if he try to cut it inside, you'll be there to clean things up if the rest of your guys aren't going to already. But by and large, from my experience, most people just run right into that defensive end there, and there's nothing really they can do. You can actually click on and get that tackle even sooner. So then you're probably wondering, well, what if they just audible to halfback dive? So if I'm running the wide 9 here, clearly there's a lot of big openings in the middle of the field. A smart player should be able to see that and go right up the middle, right? Well, to a certain extent, you're right, but there are a lot of nice things about this wide 9 formation, namely because this weak side defensive end here, and by the way, I just flipped the defensive ends because in Ultimate Team, you're going to have great guys on the left and the right. I didn't want to just have some scrub there. You want to have physicality, speed, acceleration, big tackling, big hit stick at both of those guys, like everybody already does in Ultimate Team. Your Lawrence Taylors, your Khalil Macks, your whatever. In this case, just for a demonstration. So in this case, because he's so wide out, the targeting on the backside of these formations, strong H-wing, I H-wing, where there's no tight end to the backside, that left tackle there is going to essentially double team on the 3 technique here and then move upwards to the will outside linebacker here, leaving your defensive end on that side completely free. So what that means is that if they run the halfback dive here, they're going to be totally squeezed by that guy. He's going to make a tackle in the backfield. So best case scenario is really what I just showed you there, where the running back is running straight and he's just not going to be able to outrun that defensive end that's coming from the backside. Worst case, he's going to hold the sprint button a little bit earlier to outrun that, and that'll just create more block sheds coming in. Or they'll try to run to the right side where there really isn't too much to do. Actually, I did a horrible job at running around him, but there's a lot of defenders there. I can show that again. I can try to evade that defensive end over there, and again, even from then, if you have a speedy end, he's going to catch up to him. So I would say the stretch and the dive are pretty much no-go in these formations against 4-3 wide 9, though the one thing that you should watch out for, and maybe a lot of people aren't too smart to do this, is flipping the halfback dive. They can't flip the stretch because it is RPO, but they can flip the dive so that to the weak side here is now the front side, meaning the tackle will target that defensive end, and he's not going to come in free. Now, you're still going to have an extra man coming in from the safety here, and you can possibly put him on a spy or blitz him because he has no actual coverage responsibilities in his match assignments. So you can come a little bit more aggressive, or you can just leave him there. Of course, you'll likely want to do something like this. So if they do that, you know, they'll have the blocking there, but the numbers still don't work out for them. So that all being said, you know, you'll still come across really good players that are, you know, even if you have free defenders coming in, if they have a running back with good abilities and they're pretty quick on the sticks, they can still usually do a pretty good job of running around those guys. But, you know, by and large, I'm really happy with the 4-3 wide 9. I think, you know, the 4-3 normal had a lot of issues defending these types of formations. And this is just really easy. You know, you don't even need to necessarily call the play at the play menu. If you see this, you could perhaps audible to it late, and then you're going to be golden again against the halfback dive, against the stretch, really against any run. So that's it for this one, guys. The wide 9 has some other capabilities in terms of containing escape artist quarterbacks, particularly out of the nickel wide 9. Hopefully I can do a video on that soon. Other than that, that's it for this one. A pretty short one for this one. I hope you liked it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.